Before you were old enough to earn a single dollar, someone was already teaching you how to think about money. Your parents, your teachers, society. And most of what they taught you, as well-meaning as it was wrong. Not slightly wrong, fundamentally wrong, in ways that are quietly keeping millions of people broke, stressed, and stuck in financial patterns they don't even realize they inherited. In this video, we're going to break down 7 of the biggest lies about money that most of us were taught as children, and replace each one with what actually works. Stay until the end, because the last one is the one that quietly destroys more financial futures than any other. Welcome back to Wealth Afternoon. Before we get into it, I want to be clear about something. The people who taught us these things weren't lying to hurt us. They believed what they said. They were passing down what they were taught. But good intentions don't change bad outcomes. And when it comes to money, the beliefs you carry determine the results you get. Let's break them down one by one. The first lie is one almost every person on the planet has heard. Money doesn't grow on trees. It sounds reasonable. It sounds responsible. But what it actually does is plant a seed of scarcity, thinking that follows most people for the rest of their lives. When you grow up hearing that money is rare, hard to get, and always running out, you start to unconsciously believe that wealth is for other people, that there's only so much of it to go around, that wanting more is greedy or unrealistic. This is called a scarcity mindset, and it is one of the most powerful, invisible barriers to building wealth. The truth is, money is not scarce. The global economy generates trillions of dollars every single year. New wealth is created constantly through innovation, business, investing, and value creation. The question isn't whether money exists, it's whether you're positioned to receive it. The reframe is this: money flows to people who create value. The more value you create, through your skills, your business, your investments, the more money flows toward you. That's not naive optimism. That's how economies actually work. Start noticing when you think about money in terms of scarcity. I can't afford that. Money is hard to get. Rich people are just lucky. And consciously replace those thoughts with abundance framing. Not as a magic trick, but as a genuine shift in how you approach opportunities. The second lie is one that feels responsible, safe, and wise. Save your money in the bank. Put it in a savings account. Keep it somewhere safe. And here's the painful truth. Keeping your money in a standard savings account is one of the slowest ways to lose it. Not dramatically, not all at once, but quietly, year after year, through inflation. Here's how it works. Inflation, the rising cost of goods and services, averages around 3% per year historically. A standard savings account pays somewhere between 0.1 and 2% interest, depending on the bank and the year. That means in most scenarios, your money in the bank is losing purchasing power every single year. $100 today will not buy the same things in 10 years, and your bank account is not keeping up. Now, this doesn't mean you shouldn't have a savings account. You absolutely should. For your emergency fund, for short-term goals, for money you'll need within the next 1 to 3 years. That money should be liquid and safe. But money you don't need for 5, 10, or 20 years, that money needs to be working for you. Invested in index funds, ETFs, real estate, or other assets that historically outpace inflation. The bank is a parking spot, not a wealth-building tool. The sooner you understand that distinction, the faster your financial life changes. The third lie is the one most people build their entire lives around. Get a good job, work hard, and you'll be fine. For previous generations, this was largely true. You could work for one company for 30 years, retire with a pension, and live comfortably. That world is gone. Today, the average person changes jobs 12 times in their career. Entire industries are being disrupted or eliminated by technology. Pensions have been largely replaced by retirement accounts that you fund yourself. And the cost of living has outpaced wage growth in most developed countries for decades. A job is income, and income is important. But income alone is not a financial plan. Here's the critical distinction. Income is what you earn. Wealth is what you keep and grow. You can earn a high income and still be financially fragile, and millions of people do exactly that. They earn well, spend more, save nothing, and invest less. When the job disappears, Through layoff, illness, economic downturn, everything falls apart. The people who are truly financially stable don't just have a good job. They have a job plus savings, plus investments, plus ideally one or more additional income streams. The job is the foundation, not the entire structure. Start treating your job as one piece of your financial picture, not the whole picture. Build around it. Because no job, no matter how good, comes with a guarantee. The fourth lie is one of the most psychologically damaging things you can teach a child about money. Rich people are greedy. Wealthy people are selfish. Money corrupts. When you grow up hearing this, your brain makes a quiet but devastating association. If I become wealthy, I become a bad person. And most people, consciously or not, would rather stay financially struggling than become someone they've been taught to disrespect. This is called a negative money association, and it's more common than most people realize. It shows up as self-sabotage, making just enough money but never breaking through, spending windfalls instead of saving them, feeling guilty about financial success. The truth is, wealth is neutral. What matters is what you do with it. There are generous wealthy people and greedy poor people. There are selfish millionaires and deeply kind ones. Money amplifies who you already are. It doesn't create character, good or bad. And practically speaking, financial security gives you options. Options to help your family, to support causes you believe in, to not make desperate decisions under financial pressure, to build something that outlasts you. Releasing the belief that wealth is morally suspect is one of the most important mental shifts you can make. You are allowed to want financial security. You are allowed to build wealth. And doing so doesn't make you a worse person. It gives you more capacity to be a better one. The fifth lie is one that gets passed down as politeness, but functions as ignorance. Don't talk about money. It's rude. It's private. It's inappropriate. And the result? Most people grow up with almost zero practical financial education. They don't know what their peers earn. They don't know what things actually cost. They don't know how to negotiate a salary. They don't know what investments their friends are making or what mistakes they've already learned from. The wealthy talk about money constantly, not to show off, but to learn, to compare, to strategize, to find opportunities. Financial conversations between trusted people are how knowledge spreads. Studies consistently show that people who discuss personal finance openly, with partners, friends, mentors, or communities, make significantly better financial decisions than people who treat money as a forbidden topic. This doesn't mean you announce your salary at dinner parties, but it does mean having honest conversations with your partner about finances. It means asking a successful friend how they approach investing. It means being willing to say, "I don't know how this works," and finding someone who does. The silence around money isn't protecting you. It's keeping you uninformed. And in finance, information is literally worth money. The sixth lie is one that keeps millions of people on the financial sidelines their entire lives. Investing is risky. The stock market is gambling. You could lose everything. And yes, some forms of investing are risky. Putting your savings into a single stock, or cryptocurrency you don't understand, or a business idea you haven't researched, that's risky. But here's what nobody told you. Not investing is also a risk. It's just a slower, quieter one. If you keep your money in cash or a low-interest savings account for 20 years, you will lose purchasing power to inflation. Guaranteed. That's not a risk. That's a certainty. Meanwhile, the S&P 500, an index of the 500 largest U.S. companies, has returned an average of roughly 10% per year over the last century. It goes up and down in the short term, but over long periods it has consistently grown. The risk of investing in broad diversified index funds over a 20 or 30-year period is historically very low. The risk of not doing so, of watching inflation erode your savings while others build wealth, is historically very high. Risk isn't something you avoid in finance. It's something you manage. And the biggest financial risk most people take is doing nothing at all. The silence around money isn't protecting you. It's keeping you uninformed. And in finance, information is literally worth money. And now the last lie, the one that quietly does the most damage. Money can't buy happiness. This one gets repeated so often by so many people that it feels like wisdom. And there's a grain of truth buried inside it. Beyond a certain point, more money doesn't keep making you happier. Research does support that. But here's what the research also shows, clearly and consistently. Financial stress is one of the leading causes of anxiety, depression, relationship breakdown, and poor health outcomes. Money problems are cited in the majority of divorces. Financial insecurity shortens lifespans. Money doesn't buy happiness, but the absence of financial security actively destroys it. What money actually buys is options. The option to leave a job that's making you miserable. The option to get your child the medical care they need without going into debt. The option to support someone you love when they're struggling. The option to spend your time on things that matter to you rather than things you're forced to do to survive. That's not happiness in a bottle, but it's the foundation on which a good life is built. So the next time someone tells you money can't buy happiness, agree with them, and then quietly continue building your financial security anyway. Because the alternative, financial stress, limited options, constant pressure, doesn't buy happiness either. It just buys suffering. You deserve better than that. And building wealth is one of the most direct paths to getting it. So there you have it. 7 lies about money that most of us were taught before we were old enough to question them. Money doesn't grow on trees, replaced with money flows to those who create value. Save in the bank, replaced with invest what you don't need short term. Get a good job and you'll be fine, replaced with build multiple financial pillars. Rich people are greedy, replaced with wealth is neutral and you're allowed to want it. Don't talk about money, replaced with financial conversations make you smarter and richer. Investing is risky, replaced with not investing is the bigger risk. And money can't buy happiness, replaced with financial security buys options and options change lives. You didn't choose the beliefs you were handed, but you can choose the ones you carry forward. If this video made you think differently about money, subscribe. We break down topics like this every week. And drop a comment. Which of these 7 lies hit closest to home for you? I read every single one. See you in the next one.